Good morning, PS287 family. This is Miss Mouchette, your school social worker here, and this is the PS287 Friday Morning Show.
My name is Patricia Thompson. I am a after-school supervisor. I have been in education for 44 years. I retired from Department of Ed about 3 years ago, and I've been with the JETS after school program for 22 years. I have two sons. One is a principal in Virginia. He lives in Maryland, but he's a principal in Virginia. And I have another son who's an iTech person at the police department.
Wow.
I have I have 5 grandchildren and 1 great-grandson.
How has your time at PS287 impacted the woman you have become academically, personally, and professionally?
Okay. Well, the time at 287 was a good time for me. It energized me because there was a lot going on there. At the time, it was a new school. It was innovative. I was sent over there from PS67, which is on St. Edward's. What it did for me, it made me enjoy education and learning. So therefore, I went on to high school. I went on to college. I went to Parsons School of Design. I went to Brooklyn College. And I didn't really want to get into education. I didn't want to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to be in the art world because I had gotten art scholarships. So,
wow.
I wanted to be designing and with the windows, dressing windows, and I did a lot of museums and things like that. So. I don't remember how education got into my blood, but it did. I went there. I was working for the city, and back then you had a lot of closures where the city would shut down and you had to go to another department. And during that time, I went to this school, PS 306. And at first I was volunteering. I was doing the school newsletter and doing workshops for parents. And I became the first Afro-American woman PTA president there because the area was new to me. This is East New York, over there by Starry City, and it was, the school was predominantly Jewish and Italian. So we only had 2 Afro-American teachers there. And so most of the PTA was that I became involved in the United Parent Association for New York City. And then all of a sudden, the principal asked me, would I sub and take a 2nd grade class? Because, I don't know, some teachers had gotten sick or something, and he needed me to take that 2nd grade class. And it started from there. I was in that school. I'm still in that school. That's where my after school is. Oh. So I've been in that school all of, I would say, at least 45 years.
Wow. That's a lot.
And this all started with 287. It really did.
It took you from 287 to over there. That's
right, because awesome. I attended 287 in 2nd grade.
Okay. What was PS287 like when you were here?
Oh, it was a wonderful school. It really was. This is not just just buttering up. The school was great. There was a lot of activity. In fact, at the time that I was transferred over there, one of my cousin was a kindergarten teacher there, and she became the superintendent of high schools. She's retired now. So when I went there, I already had someone in 287.
Right.
And there was so much activity there. We had field days. We had, because the park is right across the street. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of field days. We had a lot of parades. We had the Mayflower pole. We had a lot of spring dances. The Girl Scout troop from Open Door Church up the block there held their meetings in 287. Now, I lived in Fort Greene, and most of the, 287 is, of course, close to the Farragut houses. Mm-hmm. So it was like an honor to be coming in from Fort Greene, because the Farragut houses felt they were up and coming, and they felt they were better. Fort Greene was one of the first projects to be built. So it was an old project. And so to take children for Fort Greene, it was just an honor. But I enjoyed every minute there. I never had the assembly programs and having to put on your little blue skirt and your white blouse and being picked to speak or to carry the flag. It was a good experience. In fact, I really cried when I had to leave, but it only went up to the sixth grade at the time.
Oh, sixth grade.
Or sixth, I'm not sure. But I had to leave and go back to 67. And that's where I finally graduated from 8th grade and then went on to high school. But I cried because, leaving the teachers and everything. I did go back to visit. I remember my 5th grade teacher was Mr. Clark. And I went back to visit him a couple of times, but then I went on with my life. Because I moved out of there and I moved further into Fort Greene when I went to stay with my grandparents.
Why do you think your parents chose PS 287?
They didn't. My mother and father were not together, and my mother was sickly. And I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to be the best student I could, because I wanted to make her proud, so that would be one less thing she had to worry about. Mm-hmm. I really don't remember how it came about, but I know my mother didn't choose it because my mother wasn't into my education like that. Right. In 67, I was well liked. And I was a good student, and it just happened. I think the school chose 287 for me. Mm-hmm.
Wow. What is one piece of advice that you can give students in our families now that we're exiting out the pandemic?
I think the best advice I could give to parents, and I know it's difficult in these times, you got to get involved. You just got to get involved. And if you find yourself not being able to be involved with your children's school as much as you would like to, because maybe more parents are working now. I know they are. Mm-hmm. Get to know the teachers. Get to know the school. Get to know what their goals are for the school and for your child, and support them any way you can, showing up when you can, and be a partner with the teacher, not against, not ahead, not behind, but a partner.
I really like that. Yeah. I really like that, partner. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.